We're going to talk about budget decks, bronze through gold, above 50% win rates, below 5,000 dust. These are going to be 5 decks that'll let you climb the standard ladder without needing a payday loan. And to look at the win rates really fast, because I want to get into just the juicy details of these decks. Paladin, Shaman, Druid. Shaman's on there. I don't remember Shaman being above 50% last week, but hey, listen, it's a new day. Mage is also very good. We know why Mage is so good. Warrior's been fluctuating. The only thing I want to throw out there is Demon Hunter. We thought Demon Hunter was going to be the busted of the busted when the new set came out. And then, you know, Priest, Hunter, I am shocked. 46.8% right now for Hunter. That's crazy. And then Rogue, listen, Rogue will be fine. Rogue spent 7.5 years on, you know, top win rates, and I'm kidding on this. It's time for it to be number 11. Okay, so this is what I'm very excited about. When I started playing Perils in Paradise, when I was in the Theory Craft, I loved that Amalgam Hunter, and it really didn't do too great. Now, maybe I was just seeing some busted opponents that are much better than me, and there's a lot that are much better than me, but Amalgam Hunter didn't work, and finally we got this. Amalgam Hunter is at a 50.5% win rate right now, and it's only at 4,240 dust. Adaptive Amalgam, you want to have that death rattle, shuffle this into your deck. It keeps any enchantments. You're going to have those enchantments. A bunch of bananas. You're going to use that one. Cup of Muscle. You have tracking to see if you can discover a card in your deck depending on where you're at. You have Absorbent Parasite, which is amazing because it's magnetic and rush, and it'll let you magnetize to beasts, and this is the only thing you want to magnetize is to the Adaptive Amalgam. You have Birdwatching. Discover a minion from your deck. Obviously, you want to discover the Amalgams. Titanform Traps. This is one of the best secret cards out there because you could discover and cast a secret, and if you forge it, you do it twice. You know this one. All You Can Eat. Draw 3 minions of different minion types. So if you're worried about that discover mechanic of discovering a minion that you don't want, if you have the Adaptive, hopefully All You Can Eat will make you pick the right ones, okay? Bronze Gatekeeper, hey, magnetic and taunt, and then you can add that because it is magnetic and taunt, and this Adaptive Amalgam is all, you'll be able to use it. You see what I'm getting at here? This is very, very fun. Sailboat Captain, give a friendly pirate Wind Fury. How about all your Adaptive Amalgams having Wind Fury? Let's keep it, absolutely. Trusty Fishing Rod. Summon a 1-cost minion from your deck. Because Adaptive Amalgam is 1 cost, you'll be able to cycle through and grab that faster. Camouflage Mount. Give a minion +3/+3 and a random bonus effect. This is just making this Adaptive Amalgam as strong, as powerful as possible, and then you could just go ahead and keep on cycling them through. And Ranger Gilly is also there to round things out after Barak Kolobane. This one is the Warrior Tourist. At the end of your turn, get a 2/3 Crocolisk, and the Death Rattle is give all minions in your hand +2/+3. You're just going to make the Amalgam huge. That's the goal. Like I said, this is at 50.5% win rate. It's not huge right now. It's not, oh my god, oppressive. This wasn't working for a little bit, and now it's pretty cool. I'm very excited to be playing this one, and I'd love to see if any of you are playing this deck. Let me know your thoughts on it. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let's go through the next one we're going to talk about, and it's Spell Mage. We talked about Elemental Mage last week. It was super cheap. Guess what? Spell Mage is also cheap, and it's got a higher win rate. 55.2% win rate with 1,960 dust. And all of these cards are not a shock to you because these are all the cards from previous expansions. I can't think of anyone right here that we would have anything different. It's all the same type of thing. So you got a lot of spells. You got Light Show. You got Molten Ruin. You got Reverberations. Everybody loves that card. You got Heat Wave, and then you also have the Void Scripture to discover a spell. This one is essentially just all spells all the time. You do have Elemental Companion in there to throw a couple of random elementals. You'll be able to use the Frostlich Cross Stitch, which I do not like those 3/6 freezes, but that's fine. Spot the Difference. Discover a 3-cost minion to summon if your deck has no minions, which it doesn't repeat this. So you'll have 2 minions, and then manufacturing errors, draw 3 cards. If your deck has new minions, they cost 3 less, so you can get some cheap spells. Also, look at the mana cost of all of these. There's not one above 5 mana, so that's pretty cool. It should be very easy to pilot. It's not a specific archetype centric combo, if you will, or counter, because it's just, this will be able to fight every single one of them. Will it fight a lot of aggressive decks? No, but it'll keep a lot of aggressive decks from killing you turn 5. So let me know what your thoughts are on this one. And then, yeah, listen, I have to talk about this. Handbuff Death Knight is pretty strong still. This is another one that doesn't have a lot of newer cards from the Perils in Paradise, but this is essentially buffing all the things in your hand. And the great news is with this one, with it only being 3,920 dust, if it is a little expensive for you, you can make moves with this. Look at your hand for Death Knight cards, look at your hand for strong neutral cards, and go ahead and start messing with this deck. The one thing that makes this a little bit more expensive, it has Maw and Paw. This is cool because it'll help you grab that additional health if you need it, and then it'll also give you corpses. And then Headless Horseman, this one is also fairly new, so you'll have to spend some money on this one. But again, as long as you're using, and I'll show you which one, Amateur Puppeteer, this is the card that you could just have in the deck along with the Lesser Spellstone to give your undead +1/+1, and you could put anything in here. Handbuff is awesome. So if you do not have all of these cards, just go ahead and just start building what you do have. And then, like I said, strong neutral cards, strong Death Knight cards, and these cards, once you start buffing them and improving their health and their attack, it'll be tough for your opponents to go through that wall. Okay, there's a lot of cards that you can switch with this. It's a very good deck. Next up that we're going to talk about is Secret Hunter. Secret Hunter is also very good. It's very easy to pilot. It's very situational. It's not specific countering one, class or another class or what have you. Secret Hunter is 4,000 dust. So it's a little bit more expensive than, some of the ones I talked about in the past. 63.3% win rate on this, though. That's pretty busted. Why is it? It's just disrupting everything that your opponent is doing based on spells and secrets. So we know what that does. A bunch of bananas, what's that for? That's for some of the things that you have in this deck. Vicious Slither Spear, potentially. You also have Sneaky Snakes, and those things have stealth. You have Camouflage Mount, you have Mantle Shaper, Product 9. Look at this, recast every friendly secret that triggered this game. But once you're done with all the secrets, you can use Product 9 to recast all of those. Bargain Bin Secret, Bait and Switch Secret. Let's see, Costume Singer, this will help you draw a secret. The cool thing is you could sit there and use Costume Singer, and then like the bananas or, another thing that would buff that up, and then just keep that on the board. Will it last a long time? No, it's not going to last a long time. Rat Trap is awesome because it'll give you a 6/6 rat. Sometimes a 6/6 is difficult to take off the board. Titan Forge, we already talked about this one. This one is nuts. It's broken. Observer of Mysteries, cast 2 random secrets at the end of your turn, destroy them. This one's very strong because it's random. You don't know what you're going to get. Your opponent has no clue of what they're putting in there, and it just, like I said, it breaks up what the opponent is going to do or wants to do. And then Starstrung Bow costs 1 less for each friendly secret that has triggered this game. So halfway through the game, you're putting this out and you're playing this. 5 mana, 2 hits for nothing. Very, very little. Again, this one's a little bit more complicated. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, again, there's not one specific characteristic way to play this deck. It's sitting there based on what your opponent has, what they're playing, what their archetype is, whether they're aggro or a control or, something like that. You just have to, wait and see and just be situational. Just see what your opponent's doing right there and react to it. That's the type of things. If you know something's coming out, put out a secret that's going to potentially disrupt that, and you can get some crazy things out on your side that'll also allow you to hit your opponent's face or make them concede in frustration. And then the last deck we are going to talk about is Combo Druid, and that one is another one, 4,000 dust with a 53.5% win rate. This one right here is just essentially just a mix match of everything Druid has to offer. You have Concierge in there. It's funny too, because when I was going through this, I was like, what is Concierge Druid? I saw that all over HS Replay. Okay, well now I know what it is. I forgot that this card's named Concierge, and I've talked about it about 75 times. Swipe. You got Chia Drake. A lot of these things here are the spell damage +1. And when you're doing that spell damage +1, you're able to do extra stuff. So look, deal 2 damage randomly split among all enemies with spell damage. That would be cool. Go with the flow. Choose a minion. If it's an enemy, freeze it. If it's a friendly, give it spell damage +1. Magical Dollhouse is the gain spell damage +1. And then the spells will either attack your opponents and hurt your opponents, or use the spell damage to get yourself more beneficial things going on. Restore 3 health to a minion and its neighbors for funnel cake. If each one is overhealed, refresh a mana crystal. This will let you just cycle mana like crazy. And then Frost Lotus Seedings, make sure you just blossom these. Don't let them hit out right away because you're wasting that, and especially with the spell power. We talked about that one. Swipe. Swipe is going to be broken with all the spell damage you could do. This could literally be deal 8 damage to an enemy and 4 damage to all other enemies. I've seen it happen. And then Vista is a Mage Tourist. In 3 turns, replay every spell you've cast between now and then. So the idea would be play this one, and then work with Concierge to get a whole bunch of busted spells out between that first time that you threw out this card, and then in 3 turns you have a crazy hand that you're gonna go ahead and you're just gonna blast your opponent with, especially if you're doing it with Swipe or what have you. This one is also not an easy to pilot, really quick deck. It is a little tough to do, but I'm sure that everybody will be able to try this out once or twice. 4,000 dust is not crazy expensive if you're looking for cheaper options right now. So listen, Pirate Demon Hunter, that one is not an expensive deck. We've talked about that one already. We've also talked about Elemental Mage. This one's super cheap and it's super strong. It's all over the place. We also talked about Handbuff Paladin. There's like a Handbuff one, and there's a Flood Paladin. Both of them are below 1,000 dust, I think, or around that, like between 1,000 1,200 dust. Super cheap, super viable. I posted on X, I reposted something the other day. Was able to take a very, very small deck, go from Bronze 10 to Legend in just a couple of days off of a deck that costs less than 12,000 dust. So there is options for everybody. Listen, let me know what type of decks you're interested in seeing. Maybe I could try to put that in. Again, I have to go through decks that are below 5,000 dust. So if we're looking at stuff, I'm not putting Zarimi Priest in there. It's too expensive. It's a fun deck, and there's some fun decks that are out there. But I'm also, like I said, the goal is no payday loans for you to be able to play these decks. I'm going to get below 5,000 dust. And that's it. If you like what I'm doing, subscribe. See you in the next video.